all the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Div Anarchy, and interface with a couch in space. It's Space Couch time. We took a little bit of a break. We're back. You know, it gets weird out here with like having to dodge comets and stuff. So thank you for allowing us that break. We are not short on gas, though, because we are sponsored this week by Liger Hawk Records. You want to check out the new release, Decade Decoded, from James Netterwald. He's just been on a tear. 8-Bit Panda Strike has a brutal parody called Hey There Brianna. James Netterwald's new album, very convenient, and Gasoline Invertebrates, Crash and Burn and Burn and Burn. Also, this is really exciting. We are now an affiliate of Super 7, the best toys and apparel around. You say, hey, I want some cool action figures I probably didn't even know existed. You want to go to super7.com/Space Couch Show. Help out the show, pick you up some cool stuff. This is something I just got. It's a pre-order from like a million years ago, but like, you know me, I love my Thundercats. Not only is the Hachiman in the background there, the ultimate of them that just came out, it's great. There's a hand option for the samurai thumb that like flicks the sword out. Oh, Luro, the first loot attack ever created in toy format, is now available. So you could check out that. There's G.I. Joe, Conan the Barbarian, new Sesame Street figures just dropped today. Check out super7.com/Space Couch Show. My love of Super 7 is rivaled only by my love of today's guest, friend of the show, once again returning to space. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Reaper himself. It's Aaron from the Grim Life of Hack and Slash. What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Welcome back to space. You know, not a lot has changed. Or it has, you know, because it's infinite. So I suppose there's something has changed somewhere. But for those of you out in the audience who are new to both space and the Grim Life of Hack and Slash, why don't you give us the elevator pitch, man? Like what is the Grim Life of Hack and Slash?
So the Grim Life of Hack and Slash is a horror comedy that is about Grim Reapers and ghouls trying to take souls, pay the bills, and not piss off the boss. But in true entertainment fashion, and hopefully not cringe fashion, the show is definitely anchored in comedy, but when we go horror, it's full tilt. So there's a really cool balancing act that's there.
Yeah, that is succinctly well said. I was like, how do you encapture the oeuvre of Grim Life in an elevator pitch? But I think you just did it, because it is laugh out loud funny, like the bits you do, but then it gets like really creepy and like, do you need like, you know, should I call him? I got
well, and Flash addressed that recently because he's like, the tone is wildly erratic. 1 minute Hack is telling jokes, and the next minute Bête Noire is terrifying people.
And we got the voice live. I love when they do that on like Inside the Actors Studio, and you see like Dan Castanella do the Homer voice, but like awesome. So you play the main Reaper, Hack, essentially, and most of the characters, right? Yeah.
Quite a bit when buddies and affiliates are not actively in town. You know, and it's funny though, because even though it's my show, I still like ask for their grim blessing, so to speak.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to do a thing and I'm going to play X character. Are you good with that? Because I'm going to try to emulate you. And they're like, dude, it's your show. What are you talking about?
Oh, wow, man. Of many, I was going to say hats, but full bore outfits, because you really go full strength with the costuming. Here's a clip from your New Year's Eve special, if you will. This will be cut 6.
You know, I thought about the notion that all too often everybody's like, New Year, new me. Look out, world. This is the type of energy that I'm going to put off in the world. Or just like when people go off to college for the first time. Then they come back for a holiday. Oh, well, the Billy you knew is different. I'm a totally different person. Bullshit, you're not. But in lieu of socially awkward conversations that are racked with anxiety, if you start out the new year and people put the pressure on you and they want to introduce themselves and you're meeting somebody new for the first time and you feel obligated to be stuck in this horrific engagement that's going to drain your social battery, I have been brainstorming with several of the Reapers and my closest ghouls about responses that can help you in the new year. For instance, hi, I'm doing the best I can.
And
Yeah.
okay, so that was just like the first joke of the New Year's Eve special. Find that on YouTube. If not, is that can you get it on YouTube? I got it off Patreon. We'll get to that in a second. But do you have that one on YouTube?
Quite a few. I've still got to get. I got to catch up because instead of distributing on all the things, what I like to do is I exclusively gun for Patreon first to give all the supporters, my thanks and kind of the exclusive, shot at it. Then it'll trickle to TikTok, Instagram, whatever. But I am making a concerted effort to port more stuff to YouTube now.
Fantastic. Well, let's actually jump to the Patreon stuff because your output is mighty. You are by far the most prolific of the Patreons I support. For the audience, where can we find you on Patreon?
Patreon is just my name, actually. It's just Aaron Bilbrey. It's
okay.
Aaron, Bilbrey.
Aaron.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you search like Hack and Slash or Reaper for Hire, you'll tend to find it.
So look for Aaron Bilbrey, Bilbrey, on Patreon. Dollar for dollar, you can't go wrong. You get so much great stuff. Been crushing it on the AI art. Our mutual buddy and friend of the show, Carl of Angel Spit, told me that you've been taken off with the Deadlands stories. I should say wicked stories from the Deadlands. We'll play the Erebus clip. Why don't you set it? What is it? And maybe set this one up a little bit.
So Wicked Stories from the Deadlands is the horror side of the show. It is face first dive through Hades itself. And some of them are anchored in Grecian lore as we know it, but then others are constructs of things that could live in that world. So for this clip, it's focused solely on Erebus, the god of darkness, and it really encapsulates the feel of it. And it was pretty cool. It was a video that I hashed out for MTV TV, and I think a lot of people enjoy it. So
shout out to MTV TV. But essentially, the project is it's almost poetry, sometimes set to music, sometimes set to video. Is that in fair encapsulation?
Oh yeah, and with the soul-crushing, I can't even speak today. So awesome. There's a soul-crushing, devastating blow that's literally just grafted into instrumentals that Carl whipped together, and they're
okay. So it's Angel Spit doing the music on a lot of these.
Oh yeah,
good
very
stuff.
Much so.
Sign up for that. You get bonus exclusive Angel Spit content. But without further ado, a little bit longer cuts today because we have an audio-visual guest, so it's not like, just like cutting to the chorus on an industrial track, as much as we love doing that. But here in its entirety is Erebus, care of the Grim Life of Hack and Slash Patreon.
I thought about the notion that,
I screwed it up! Space problem!
Wicked Stories from the Deadlands. Descending down the staircase further and farther downward. unknowing of the horrors that await to prey upon the weak. The only way on through this mirth is to journey forward. And without a guide to follow, the future begins to look bleak. The underworld is unforgiving, harsh, and full of strife. This brutal trial is not for the weak and those who are faint of heart. Torn between the dead and forgotten, clinging to past life. An arduous path through the unknown, but this is merely the start. The darkest fog brings feelings of dread, unshakable and grim. He awaits down past the branches of the trees where an evil grows. You lose the path beneath your feet. The torch's light gets dim. And somewhere in the blackness, Erebus watches from the shadows.
Okay. I'll cut us back in 3, 2. Hi, I screwed it up again. This is cut 2. I've made our guest stay. We're gonna have to re-answer some questions. I'm really sorry, Aaron. Here we go with first-person shooter, turn-based RPG, or fighting game.
RPG.
The Spawn. Spawn, the Max, or Lobo.
Spawn all day.
Spawn all day. And you took me out to McKay's, or at least introduced me to it here in Knoxville. It is a toy and media collector's dream. You were very nice enough to buy me a DVD of Stay Alive, which is a really wild horror movie with Malcolm in the Middle and video games of the era, meaning 2006. Recommend unto our audience, since I had such a good time with Stay Alive, could you tell me about another horror movie you could recommend?
The Curse of La Llorona.
Right.
Very original horror. Very cool how they shot it. There's still a little bit of stuff that seems a little bit whack-a-mole-ish, like a girl pops an umbrella and she can see like the specter, but then she draws it back and then it's gone. So who knew that an umbrella was a way to peer through the
umbrella
unknown.
cam is not normally used. Awesome. I'm going to run through these. This is going to sound weird to the audience at home, but I'm so embarrassed. I must have hit something to stop the recording, so we're going for all over these, or a lot of these twice. But from the top, turn-based RPG, Spawn, and Curse of La Llorona. And now we will do, now that we've got it fleshed out a little bit more, pardon the pun, we will do... come on, space controller. Why'd you screw me up? Oh, that's all right. We'll just do... unless I already hit it. Hypothetical spectacle. This is where we distill your essence on down into something weird. We get Barbara Walters with it. We did Hack and Slash, the video game, 3 years ago. So I was thinking like we could figure out what the Grim Life of Hack and Slash theme park would be. Like a teacup ride, but they're spinning sides. I mean, obviously the haunted house would be like amazing. What? Tell us what you foresee for a potential Grim Life of Hack and Slash theme park.
Well, we totally bogart the Shadow Temple from Ocarina of Time, and if you see it through the magic eye lens, you can see two Reapers that are back to back.
So this is a haunted house. So okay.
Spin around, yeah. The haunted house would be a kind of an aromatic haunted house, if that's ever been done. It's like when you go to the haunted houses that go hard in the paint and it smells like bacon mixed with the fog juice
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But it would be Slash's noxious house of funky horrors.
All right. Funky
So,
horrors. I dig it.
yeah.
Cool. And you had a really great idea for those like boat rides that like swing. This would be
Oh yeah, it'd be
the
Charon, the ferryman's ride, and it
right.
would swing back and forth. But in the true vein of merchandising, it would be one oboe or coin or penny for the ferryman. So it'd be a coin to get on, and it'd be a coin to get off, and it would be a coin to watch. Just all the coins.
All the coins. Well, and do you have a Charon character?
We do.
Right.
He's seldom seen, but we do have a Charon character, and there is a Wicked Stories dedicated to him.
Awesome, awesome. We just saw Wicked Stories. Speaking of characters, we got to do Omega again because this is such a cool. This is a new character that just dropped on the Patreon. If you haven't subscribed yet, you get. I think I said this already, but I'll make it. I got to make sure to get it in. Patreon. Look for Aaron Bilbrey, Bilbrey. For all this stuff, we're gonna. This already dropped on the Patreon, but we're gonna bring it to you. So set up the new character Omega. What's his deal?
So OM3GA, as it's spelled, or Omega, is a Reaper from the future. But the wild things that he has to contend with is longer lifespans, curing of diseases, humans uploading themselves into constructs, and or trying to escape him via data streams. So he has to chase them both in the physical world and the digital world.
It's because it's like it's harder to die in the future, so you got to contend with these future death problems if your job is to reap souls. And we'll just cut in Omega here.
There is no hiding from fate in the physical world or the cybernetic one. I will find you. I will harvest your soul. You will be downloaded and deleted.
We should talk about merch coming up. You'll see I have this wonderful Grim Life shirt. The coins you alluded to earlier, these wax coins you made, they're like all around my space apartment here. We have awesome wax candles you make to promote the show. Why is your merch game so strong, and what can we expect in the future?
Well, I'm a firm believer in that people still like what they call ancillary products, things that you could hold, things that you could touch, decorate with, etc. The coins are based off the premise of, again, ovals or penny for the ferryman type deal,
right.
But they're all different wax seals within them. So you've got a little grim coin that's more intricate. And then you have the skulls, and what's the idea behind the skulls is Bet Noir has a musing to where he says they say that the skulls of the lost light a path through Hades. So there's some pretty wild skulls, and a lot of people are like, I don't have the heart to burn them. Well, that's cool, and I can appreciate that. If you decide that you don't want to burn them, there's a version of them that has UV powder in them, so you could supercharge them in the black light and then cut the light out, and it glows like a freshly lit glow stick.
Pretty great.
Or cracked.
They're great. I have them over there. So you get a lot of products. The Grim Life of Hack and Slash, ostensibly a clip show, but it's really more of a holistic experience. There's so much to it, and I am here for it. We talked in the part I didn't record about your upcoming appearance in a booth at Knoxville's own CreepyCon.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm hopefully locking that in soon. We've been there probably about every year, if not every other year. So, and it's cool. It's a good chance to promote the show. But, you can also see me talk circles because people are like, well, I don't get it. Do you just like make candles and stuff? And I'm like, no, dude, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole
just
thing.
A giant, audio, visual, just wicked experience all around.
And we talked off camera. My guest today, for you, the listener, has been instrumental is not even the word, integral to my assimilation here in Knoxville/space. We don't need to go over It's Humane again, but we both really liked it. I think at the cool indie movie theater here in town. It's across. It has a Mortal Kombat 2 machine in it, and you can buy records. It's like awesome. Across the street from you can buy more records and like cool rare toys. I'm loving Knoxville, and one of the cool things about Knoxville is all the conventions. I mean, there was a toy convention the weekend I moved in, and like that you and I went to is great. So thanks a lot for your time, and catch us at our monthly. We got to do at least June for our next outing to Token, the arcade.
Oh yeah,
the Grim
We
Life.
gotta conquer turtles in time.
Yes, that's our next goal. So,
good God, we got up to the crocodile. Who's the crocodile from Ninja Turtles?
Leatherface.
Yeah.
I'm on a horror bench. Leatherhead. We got to beat the crocodile. And
Yep.
the Turtles in Time, of course, teaches you that the katana guy is always blue. Aaron, thank you so much in advance, and not advance, I should say. Space and time curves out here, so the future is the past. So I screwed that up. But your patronage has just been amazing. You're always so supportive of like Hardcore Pong and Gasoline and like all the projects I do and many others. I was wondering if you could once again, because I messed up the space recording, talk about what it means to be able to support independent artists to you.
I think Zoog hits it very poignantly where it could be $3 a month, help them buy a coffee, and fuel the chaos and so on. It's like you may not be made of money, but you might get a chance to support your artist and or give them a little more spring in their step and their stride, and they could provide more to the community at large. Because without support, you just get the bands that fade into obscurity or get discouraged, and then people just leave and they quit, and they're on an indefinite hiatus.
Well, thank you again. And speaking of our buddy, the Big K, Zug Von Rock from Angel Spit, he is the musician you'll hear in the wonderful Wicked Stories from Deadlands.
Oh yeah. Wire to wire, it is one of the coolest things that you will ever fucking hear. There's a lot of them that are pulse pounding. There are some that kind of, I wouldn't say like hit a low point, but they're not as like loud, super aggressive and pounding, but they're still very creepy, and they draw you in. So sonically, it definitely moves in waves. Dare I say, sine waves?
Hey.
But it is so cool because you take the face first dive through Hades, and then by the last track of the album, it's bringing you back up to the surface, but not in a way that you intend. And then the nightmare starts all over again.
So it's kind of, you get, as a bonus, just free Secret Angel Spit music when you join the Patreon. Now, this album, is this the thing that's going to be kickstarting? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so it's very much an album. We're going to lean into the MP3 or USB or both aspect.
Well, back it up a sec, because this is a Kickstarter that's not out yet, but it's going to be
not just yet
focused on the Wicked Stories from Deadlands.
Yeah, so I have one more design aspect that I really want to make sure that I nail. So t-shirts are a given, hoodies are a given. A print of Bet Noir is definitely going to
That's
be
the character
part
that
of
sort
that.
of gives the poetic videos and stories you may find that
Yep, Bet Noir is your Virgil. He is your narrator into the abyss, in his own Tobin Bell from Saw-esque way in dialogue and delivery. But perfect world scenario, I hash out one more project amongst candles and the items you can hold,
Mhm.
and I want to either do wood burning or a 3D print of something, just to put a finer note on it before we send out all of the digital goodies as well.
Okay, so for the audience at home, the product is really sort of a suite of paraphernalia and an album, kind of based around the Wicked Stories from Dead Lands facet of the grim life of Hack and Slash. You go both funny and horror, and this is full bore horror. No joke in there.
Full tilt, yeah.
And
It surprises even me to this day because when you see, again, I can't say it enough. When you hear those instrumentals from Carl, you're like, holy shit. Like, you feel like you're in the middle of it. It feels like if you were to open your eyes, you would be in Hades itself. It's something else.
speaking of Hades, you're centering this collection of stories on Greek mythology.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Very astute, sir. Eventually, the Wicked stories do branch out to more world lore, but this album is absolutely anchored in Greek mythology, and it's definitely something I'm going to revisit in future installments. I have a huge love for it, and about every other track, you would recognize something from a Greek lore standpoint, but anything that's self-made or conceptualized is something that could thread and fit into that underworld.
Very cool. Very cool. I so I'm a big fan of the shirts. You got to take the sleeves off yourself. These new Space Couch wristbands are courtesy of our guest today. Look for those at future gigs and stuff.
Did you give him a read on it? So your wristband,
let's do it.
In true fan fashion, says interface with the couch in space. And then the other one, this one is an emphasis on the syllable and the pronunciation, but it's Space Couch, the place to be in the galaxy.
Well, for you at home, I've made our guest go through the second half of the show twice because I somehow stopped recording it. Better than the Risa episode, in which I made him go through that 3 times. But it's the silver lining to our space cloud here is that now I can incorporate that for the first time ever into the outro of Space Couch. So it's a good thing we did a second pass over. So
more like a Silver Surfer lining.
Ah! oh, that joke is so Nora and rad. I stole it. You just made that joke. I stole it. That's Aaron's joke.
They don't know it was off air.
What's that?
They don't know you stole it. It was off air.
Yeah, but credit to where it's due. So you have a little bit of space homework there, audience. You got to check out the Grim Life of Hack and Slash, not only on YouTube, but you get the good shit if you sign up for the Patreon. And I mean the good shit. Like, you all have that Patreon where it comes out like once in a blue moon. Pardon the pun, because we're out here at space. Not with Aaron Bilbrey's Patreon. You get tons of great AI art, videos, stories, music by some band called Angel Spit. So check all that out. Thank you so much for going over things twice with me, man. Thanks for showing me around Knoxville. So this is Aaron for the Grim Life of Hack and Slash, and Brian for Space Couch saying, call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Devanarchy, interface with the couch in space, the place to be in the galaxy. Space Couch out for real this time. Okay, so now we're good. I am so sorry. Space problems. At least we, it's kind of the advantage, one of them, of pre-recording is that we fix it in post. So thank you very much for your time.